It's a weekend of nice breast as the exciting fixture in the French League on. And of course, there are derbies, especially the Basque derby in Spain. But CAF, they've made their stake, they've made their claim on what they think the right sanction is for both Senegal and Morocco. Do you agree with it? When we reel out these sanctions, you get to make a choice if you think it makes a lot of sense or not. That's how I welcome you to this edition of Premium Sports on the PBO TV. My name is Boluwati Tony Shola or Money here. Let's go on this quick break. When we come back, it will be time for the news beats. Welcome back from that break. It's still Premium Sport on PBO TV. My name is Jeremy Boluwati Tony Shola Money. In case you've forgotten, and like I told you earlier, it's the weekend of nice breasts. You'll understand why and because of the show. It's time for news beats. And let me read through the news for you. Starting from boxing. When Nigerian heavyweight boxer Ifeanyi Jagba stepped up preparation for his February 14th bout against the former IBF champion Charles Martin and is posting videos of his self-training and different routines on Instagram. The 31-year-old shared footage of his endurance training and jogging with the caption, "Fight dates 2/14. Valentine's Day, one thing is sure, some will find love and some will find beating. The day is almost upon us." Let's leave that now and talk about tennis, where Serena Williams, the GOAT according to many of us, if you like, that's on you, she has refused to rule out returning to professional tennis after recently filing the necessary paperwork for that. Williams, who won 23 Grand Slam titles, singles titles, retired after 2022 US Open. In December, the Integrity Agency confirmed that the 44-year-old was back on the list of players registered for the drug testing pool. And Serena said, "Well, I don't know. I'm just going to see what happens." Then later on, she spoke about getting back. So the court, would you like to see Serena Williams back? Yes, I'm asking you. Would you like to see Serena Williams back in the court? If a sister who is older, Venus Williams, is getting wild cards, who knows? Serena may just be back. And finally, on the news, let's talk about boxing again, where former heavyweight champion Tyson Fury will face Ashland Beck in UK on the 11th of April as he ends his latest spell of retirement. How many times will this guy retire from boxing? Maybe when he retires again, he will still find a way to come back. Should I talk about nice breast again? No. We have to go on this break. When we come back, we'll do Niger flavor. And I'll bring in the great men that are with me in the studio after this break. Welcome back from that break. It's time for Niger flavor. Yes, we're still on Premium Sports on PBO TV. And we'll go straight into the most competitive league in the world. Maybe competitive for good reasons, competitive for bad reasons. That's for you to decide. But I'm in the studio with me. I'm sure you've seen their faces before. Just directly beside me here is the big man. Literally big. Figuratively big. Everythingly big. Pedro Peter, how are you doing today?
I'm alright, thank you. At least the Champions League has come and gone.
Hi.
The league phase. So we look forward to the knockout rounds.
The playoff. Well, it's still knockout too, technically.
Yeah.
And to my far end, I have with me. He tries to bear the same name with me, but we have to manage him like that. Bolo, how you doing?
I don't try. The same name.
How are you today, Vijay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Good to be on the show.
I know Vijay is a Nigerian sports specialist and Pedro is an all sports specialist. Pedro don't send anything sports. Just ask him anything. So that's why I have both of them with me in the studio. First of all, let me ask Vijay. Is there hope for Rivers United on the continent?
Hope is dashing up. Hope is fading off.
If BJ will say that, forget it.
Yeah, I mean you're playing some of the big teams in African football. Two of the best. So I don't think you've got a chance at all because these sides have been there for years. I mean they've existed for years. They've been playing African football for years. You never take their football. Are we playing their football here?
Well,
I mean,
and are we spending their money?
Exactly. You are not spending the same money. You are not investing the way they are investing. And all of this matters a lot if you want to improve your football, if you want to improve as an institution, as a football institution. So they've got no chance at all. I mean, they went away to Dynamos. They got a point, the first point.
And that should have been the win.
I mean, I don't think they can win games.
Although both of them, incidentally, before that match,
yes,
both of them were top of their league. They were 4 points behind second places. So a draw is probably.
I mean, so again, maybe in the end they get 4 points. But against the rest of the part, the northern teams, it's going to be difficult. I don't think they've got a chance to actually pull through. Fine, maybe coefficient is going to affect us in a way because
we'll
we're
end up
not
losing
getting
that
to the
double
knockout
spot. We'll
stages.
end up losing it.
Exactly, because we are not doing enough.
We were this close to losing a few years ago. Yima got it back after they played the semi-final.
And what could have helped us was maybe if I had the big boys, participate in this tournament year in, year out, season in, season out. And maybe could have.
And even if you don't get to semi-final, your participation point
exactly.
is important.
But again, today we see Rivers United. Tomorrow we see Remo Stars. The following season we are seeing Kwara United. I mean, these are not perennial teams that we see. These are not the big side. They don't have the experience. But Rivers have been there for years, and I mean, the last time they made it to the quarterfinals was way back. But you look at it, I mean, it's going to be difficult. But let's see. Magic, football happens.
I don't even need to ask Pedro what Pedro thinks. I know what Pedro thinks already. So let me know. But some of the games will be played this weekend in the most competitive league in the world, the NPFL. Barao FC will play Korodu City. Al-Kanemi Warriors will host the Kun Khalifa. The Rangers will welcome Kano Pillars to Enugu in Abadi International Stadium. The Abadi fans will take on Bayelsa United in Ilorin. It will be. I love their old name, that Fonja Warriors. I don't know why they changed it. Kwara United will play against the Warri Wolves. Niger Tornadoes will host Bendel Insurance. And wait, where are Remo Stars? Are they back to Kenya?
No,
they played one game.
They'll be playing at Lekon Salam Stadium.
In Ibadan.
That's where they're going to play all the remaining.
So what happened
games.
to Abeokuta?
We beyond limit to be using it for their TCC and co, because they've been banished.
Oh yeah, true. They moved back to Kenya.
Yeah, they moved back, but they've been banished. So
they'll finish.
Yeah.
Very soon they'll still go back to Kenya.
Of course, they'll sort it out because Kano Pillars also sorted theirs.
And they'll be playing against Plateau United this weekend. One thing is sure, MPFL will serve you goals and away wins. You didn't hear what I just said. I hope they did not hear me. This is why I'll be bringing in Pedro inside. I know Pedro can call him a bit critical about the NPFL, but one thing is, if you do well, you get your praises, and if you do the other way, well, get ready for what comes after you. Chairman of the NPFL, Benga Elegbeleye, has defended the standard of officiating in Nigerian top flight, insisting it is improving due to stricter measures against erring referees and the return of the league to television. Let me quote him now. It says, the league we are running now is one we want Nigerians to appreciate, not just now, but for in the future. A league capable of competing with the best in the world. Yes, the referees are products of the NFF, but we also have the ability to make recommendations to the referees committee, and they always accept them. That is why you see referees being removed. The NFF is 100% with us. Pedro, I don't want to ask you anything. React to this part first.
Oh, well, Elegbeleye knows probably the persons or the people he's talking to, because probably he just actually wanted to say something for the media or just for the press, because all what he said.
Okay, I don't think you watch it. Okay, do you
the league you're trying to run, the league you're trying to do what? The same thing, same old.
When was the last time you enjoyed the NPFL season?
Have I ever enjoyed one?
When was the last time you enjoyed NPFL season? I know you follow, but don't be sincere. When last did you enjoy? Because the last time I think I can remember was the days of Stevie Ode, Olatubo Sono.
That was
like over 10 years ago.
2016, yeah. That was the season I enjoyed most.
And then we had games on Friday night and Monday night.
Yes.
But it was easier to watch NPFL live because you're not. See Saudi League. IFFHS latest ranking. Saudi League is 13th in the world. But they don't play their games the same time with Premier League and La Liga because they know the importance of views and TV. But we are stronger. Oh, no. Pedro, our referees, are they improving? Do you think they're improving?
Far from improving. Probably they're getting worse.
I've seen that this season.
They've gotten worse. In fact, they've regressed. In fact, what they just do is probably. Trust me, that is why they will forever be overlooked when it comes to major outings.
Major. We are not even going for Wafu. I say major. Even
Wafu
B, our referees are not there.
That's to tell you the current state of refereeing.
Can we get better, DJ?
Of course, we can get better.
Pedro, do we want to get better?
We won't. We don't want to. I don't think it is actually intentional. In fact, a lot has to change. You see this thing whereby the home team is in charge of
settling them, accommodation, feeding. They don't just feed their mouth and they feed their pockets as well.
normally the welfare for the referees. The welfare for the referees are supposed to actually come from the football federation
or the league, whichever one, but not the home teams.
But not the home team. Trust me, I'm the one that's footing the bill to house you, to feed you.
Fans don't encroach. If I don't like your visit, I won't pay for your hotel that night.
Simple. You can just tell one or two persons to go bully the referee or something. That is, and it's just for him to do your bidding. After all, they say who pays the back by the tune. So, even as much as that arrangement is still on ground currently, believe me, it will happen. Normally, I think as at now, the body running the league should be at least, even if there are always there's always paucity of funds, at least they should be funded by the football federation at the very least, so that at least they have money to take care of a few things. If not for anything, at least when it comes to officiating.
So Pedro, one of these days, what we will do is hopefully there's enough time. It's not even be 3 of us. We could be up to maybe 5. And share ideas on how we think this league will work. And we will do everything possible to make sure it gets to the right channel. If nobody will help us, BJ will help us, because BJ eats and dines with them. He doesn't like to fall. Because what you are saying now, Pedro, I'm sure when some of BJ's friends sees, they conclude you hate the league. You don't know anything about the league. You don't suffer for the other. We don't have to suffer for the league. We are looking for, because the truth is, if our NPFL works, it will pay all of us.
Mm-hmm.
But like we said, one of the best ways to make it work, you leave that 4 p.m. Sundays, it cannot work. But I hope we have enough time to sit down, have a separate conversation about how to make our league work, and boom, we'll make sure they get to listen. But we have to leave Nigeria flavor now. Let's go on this break and we'll come back. We'll discuss Euro focus and where better to start from than UEFA Champions League. Welcome back from that break. It's time for Euro Focus, and let's start for UEFA Champions League. I think we scored about 71 games in all the matches that were played. Only one game did not produce a goal at all. Let me just run through the results of the games that were played, and from tomorrow, the official draws and all we made. But not draws on who to play who. We know who is playing who. It's just based on positioning ahead of the round of 16 itself. Monaco played a goalless draw with Juventus. In case you've not heard or seen the results, Ajax lost at home 2-1 to Olympiacos. Arsenal 3-2 winners over Carras and Marti. Athletic Club were thumped to 3-2 at home at San Mamés by Sporting. And that win sent Sporting into the top 8 and sent Real Madrid out of the top 8. At the Metropolitan, Atletico were beaten 2-1 by Bodo Glimt. Surprise result there. Sportiva Camp Nou was the venue where Barcelona came from a goal down to beat FC Copenhagen by Herrera. Leverkusen 3-0 winners over Villarreal. Real Madrid went to Benfica in Lisbon and they collect. The winning goal late in the game was scored by the goalkeeper, and that goal sent Benfica into the top 24. Borussia Dortmund lost at home 2-0 to Inter Milan. Club Brugge defeated Marseille by 3-0. Frankfurt were beaten in Germany 2-0 by Spurs. Liverpool almost felt Karabakh. The game ended 6-0. Man City 2-0 win over Galatasaray. Chelsea came from behind to beat Napoli 3-2. That game was kind of weird. They were not even behind. They led. Napoli led. They ended up winning that game 3-2. PSG were beaten at home by Bayern Munich 2-1. Pafos FC surprised, 4-1 winners over Tottenham, Slavia Prague. PSG and Newcastle played out a 1-1 draw. And Union Saint-Gilloise defeated Atalanta 1-0. People and their ticket cry, especially for the Monaco Juventus game. But there won't be enough time to discuss the UEFA Champions League. I'm sure when the draws are made next week, we may even come and say one or two things about the UEFA Champions League. But let's move on to the games we have this weekend. There's a key conversation in the hot gist: CAF, tennis, and Kosovo. Let's talk about the league games for this weekend. I've been talking about Nice-Brest. Yes, in the French League Nice will be facing Brest. But if you want to do it the official way, you can say Nice will take on Brestois. But we are English people, we say what we read. In the French League Paris FC will take on Marseille. What's his name? Moses Simon should be available to play for them here. Monaco will face Reims. Lyon will play Lille. Strasbourg will host PSG. And of course, Nice will play the best team in the world, Brest. Let's move on to the Italian Serie A, where let's move on to Serie first. Frankfurt will play Bayer Leverkusen. RB Leipzig will face Mainz. Werder Bremen and Borussia Mönchengladbach. Hamburger will host Bayern Munich. And Dortmund will face Heidenheim in the Serie A. It's Napoli at home against Fiorentina, Como, Atalanta, Cremonese, Inter, Udinese, Roma. Then let me bring in Pedro, yes, since he's a big Serie A fan. Parma and Juventus. There's a bit of history between the two sides. Then it became feisty somehow after the old Buffon saga. Juve have been impressive recently, surprisingly beating people. Juve know they score past one. In fact, they love draws. They scored 5 a few weeks ago, scored 3 in the Champions League against Napoli. They are going away to Parma now. Will Juventus win this game?
Currently, Juventus are currently 10 points behind leaders Inter. So, of course, they may have faint hopes of probably sneaking up and winning the title, but for those are faint hopes, all they just have to do is just keep on gathering as many points as possible, try to at least stay in the conversation when it comes to the top 4, before we talk about the extra slots for Italy or the Premier League when it comes to Europe. Yeah. So, going away to Parma, on paper, that fixture looks good enough for them to get all 3 points. Because Juventus actually they've been a bit topsy-turvy. They're getting good results today. They draw next time, so it has just been like that. Prior to this fixture, they are coming in having gone to Stade Louis in France to play a goalless draw in the Champions League. Their final league phase fixture against Monaco. The coach was a little bit surprised. That was a fixture that failed to deliver a single goal.
That people score with.
Yeah, the week before that, they got a decent win. Last time they took out Benfica. Then before that they drew. So it has just been like that. So if they could just mount a consistent run of form, like let's say their mass wins in the next 5 domestic fixtures, trust me, they may even catch up with Napoli, AC Milan, maybe, or probably the points deficit between themselves and Inter Milan would have reduced greatly, honestly, because I don't think they will win the league this season. I don't think. I feel the league is between the Milan teams. Of course, Napoli. I think they faded. They faded, and maybe now that they're out of Europe, and Antonio Conte is back to his favorite forte, that is playing one game in 7 days. Probably that they may just relaunch an assault on the title, probably try to defend it and all. So, but all in all, I think Juventus should just probably get the result. Of course, irrespective of the personnel they have on the pitch, Kenan Yildiz, Weston McKennie, Jonathan David. Yeah, they're good enough.
Let's talk about the Spanish La Liga right about now. Osasuna will be at home against Villarreal. Villarreal have been impressive in the La Liga, terrible on the continent. Levante will host Atletico Madrid. And bringing them to Valencia is going to be somehow tough. Real Betis play against the Valencia club. Now, we have a basket derby between Athletic Club and Real Sociedad. The one thing is showing about 15 matches between these two sides. No away win. The best you get is draw. I don't think it's changing this weekend as well. Real Madrid will be playing at home against Real Vallecano, somewhat a Madrid derby, and Barcelona will be going away to Elche. Elche know how to score well, and they know how to concede very well. So, and they're playing the Barcelona team who know how to concede well and know how to score very well. Those are almost going to be sure in this one. Let's move on to the Premier League, the ever controversial league in the world. Brighton and Hove will be on play at home against Everton. Arsenal have, somewhat a tough task at Elland Road. BJ, I think Leeds I remember when they had their unbeaten run, but when they lost, it was in news that Leeds United, they are not all that.
Yes.
But when they play at Elland Road, they are more than that. Arsenal have played 3 Premier League games now without a win, 2 draws, and they lost last week against United at home. Will Arsenal beat Leeds United at Elland Road?
It's something they need to do if they want to extend their lead at the summit of the table. I mean, it's a difficult fixture because you look at how they've played. They've not actually been playing. They've not actually been very convincing. Talking about Arsenal in their approach, you talked about being winless in their last 3 games, and you need this game to actually bounce back. From that loss against Manchester United, and I mean it's going to be difficult because you are playing away to another informed side, who when they gave the manager, the how they call it now, 3-game ultimatum to get it to salve all the situation at the team. It turned it around. Defeated Chelsea, I think defeated.
They played City, almost won against City.
Almost they defeated Liverpool as well.
It wasn't the big points against Liverpool.
So since then, that's the beginning of their resurgence. And since then, exactly, and since the beginning of December, they've picked only City has picked more points than Leeds United, and it's just 1 point. And they've scored a lot of goals as well. It tells you that they've actually had that resurgence going for them.
Arsenal fans are shaky.
So it's a difficult game against Arsenal Football Club. It's a difficult game. Fine, Arsenal have got all of the players available. Kai Havertz is back. He scored in the Champions League. And, Gabriel Jesus is also back. So I don't know how they want to do it, but Arteta is the one that calls the shot right there. If they want to win, it's left to them. But if they want to win the Premier League in the end, they need to at least, work hard. Work hard, let those qualities show in the end, but it's going to be difficult. It's not going to be easy at all.
Well, for Arsenal fans, they have to be shaking now after listening to what Bolu Adijegede has said. Let's see what they will do, because drop points for Arsenal now will be great news for both Aston Villa and Manchester City. Well, at the Molineux, Wolves will take on Bournemouth, and another team that have been impressive on a new manager. One thing I always tell people is, no matter what, just sack the coach. The coach is not that he's bad; he's just not working anymore.
Yeah,
let him go. Liam Rossino now has gone 4 wins in 6 games for Arsenal. And
Chelsea.
Now they've won that for Chelsea. They've won their back-to-back London derbies. Now they're playing another London derby at home this time against West Ham. Pedro, should Chelsea fans be worried?
Not really. Some fans may have issues when it comes to the style of play and the personnel involved. Probably, okay, play this person in this position. Why do you bring this person? So, but just for now, I think Chelsea are just experimenting. By experimenting, I mean, of course, the manager. It will come to a time whereby it will just be plug and play. It doesn't matter who is in charge, who is at the helm, and whoever is the personnel that they have as in when it comes to the playing department. Anybody that comes forward will do a job and do a good job at that. So as it stands, West Ham, they are currently in the relegation zone. And trust me, they would want to do, if I throw the kitchen sink in trying to get a result, when they take on Chelsea. The only dampener, bit of a downside, coming to this fixture is the imminent departure of Lucas Paqueta, who could be heading back to Brazil, his native homeland. Of course, we know one of the major reasons, of course, the media circle around the betting thing.
Well, she know that.
The thing is, okay, probably, of course,
when he gets with the thing is, say
he did, but the thing is that probably he doesn't like the spotlight that he's getting constantly about.
He was one who brought the spotlight. It was one that brought spotlight on himself.
Go back to get
spotlight when he scored with the heel and good.
So he just wants to go back to he's just concentrating on football. If
he just go to Colombia or Mexico.
I be join them.
Not just that, okay, now.
And can also
that is just the downside. And then on the flip side, although he has not left, but they are still
like himself
and they won their last fixture. That was
against Sunderland.
Coming into this one. So this will spoil that victory will spoil them on, because if they can get another one, definitely you close the gap between themselves and the team currently occupying the 17th spot. The games are coming in thick and fast. Before you know it, you get to match the 30. And of course, once you get to match the 30, there are not much games left for you to see.
Match the 30, not beautiful football.
Yeah, so that you pick games to pick points from. So, however, they just have to do enough. I know Chelsea is one of the biggest teams, of course, at least based on form and everything. So, it is a huge ask, but if they can just salvage a draw, if they can get a draw, it is a massive result. It will look like a win. In fact, it will feel like a win. So Chelsea will not win the league, fine, but they may just get that occasional 3 points just to suit their fans, and let's go again.
You know what you just said now? There's someone behind that particular camera. I can cut off your video for that thing you said.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying Chelsea will not win the league.
Yeah, they can't.
But he knows. We know they will not win the league. Okay, let me bring a Man United fan now to talk about the Red Devils. Man United, they are playing at Old Trafford against Fulham. Are United back, or the manager bounce is still bouncing? Do you trust them to pick all 3 points against Fulham?
That's a difficult game for Michael Carrick. Still manager bounce. I mean, enjoying the 2 wins against Manchester City and Arsenal, which is feel good factor for us. But against Fulham, it's a different proportion. This is a low block side. We've seen this script play out before. You know,
they will block anything.
You play the big sides, you get the wins, but when you're playing low block side, that is where coaching, that is where a lot more.
Then you won't play
exactly. So there's not a lot of space to explore. So you have to find a way to get results, and this is where a lot of United fans are actually looking out to see what Michael Carrick has got in his locker. Fulham is a low block side, even though they don't play low blocks, because when you have Alex Iwobi, you have what's his name, Harry Wilson, who is scoring a lot of goals. I mean, they want to express themselves as well. I think United should be happy for this, because they don't look like a Bournemouth side. They don't look like a Nottingham Forest side where it is low block from minute 1 to 90. So I think Michael Carrick, but the game will be difficult because you're not playing a big side. It's going to be difficult. Fulham has always been a difficult game. If you go by the head-to-head, it has always ended by a goal margin for United in time past. So you understand. So it's going to be difficult, but Michael Carrick has to find a way to get a result. I mean, 2 wins on a bounce now. I think that's a feel good factor. Confidence for the players. You know, adjusting a little, making it basics, you know, for the players so that they can fly. You know, playing some of these players in their right positions like Bruno Fernandes. And if Bruno is playing well, I mean, United in 90% of the time they win games. So it tells you that I think he's just doing what is right at this point. I think they'll get a result against Fulham, despite the fact that it's going to be difficult. Maybe 1-0 win, just like previous games, or maybe more goals, because Mbeumo is scoring a lot of goals these days.
Now it's time to talk about the biggest game in England, at least even not the world. The biggest game in England for this weekend is between a useless team and a very good team that's playing no nonsense recently. Tottenham Hotspur against Manchester City. The interesting thing is, the last 10 games between these two sides, only 3 have been home wins. It's an away, draw, away, draw, away, draw. Now, I'm shocked Thomas Frank has a job. Maybe it's this game that will determine if he'll be sacked or not. Pedro, can Spurs make it another back-to-back win against Man City? It could tough go.
Trust me, I don't know.
In fact, wait, before you even talk Pedro, if I go deep down and put my finger in my mouth and talk what I'm not supposed to say against Pep Guardiola, he go cash out. I use confidence too. On my podcast last week, I said, Haaland will score. Pep Guardiola bench him. So will they pick? Will they revenge against
like
Spurs?
Also still have him as a captain when it comes to.
Now my captain too now.
So he came in and just played
2 points.
Single 1 point, of course. Since he was a captain, that was 2.
But will he revenge against the Spurs, or Spurs will make it back to back?
Now, City have smelled blood. That is, if I thought they can take advantage, because of course United did the entire league, the entire division, the chasing pack, of course the fans, and of course the entire universe. They did them a whole lot of good by defeating Arsenal at the Emirates. So now the chasing pack, they smelt blood. It is now left to see if they can take full advantage. Trust me, Manchester City should be the form team, or like coming into this fixture. For all the good work Thomas Frank and Spurs have done when it comes to away fixtures, and of course in Europe, they are atrocious when it comes to home fixtures, of course in the league, on the domestic front. I don't know, they just conspire to throw everything away. In fact, from halftime, you hear the boos from the fans. No, Thomas Frank, today you see him, okay, he's under pressure, his job is under threat. Like, now, he has done well now by finishing in the top 8. They won't play an extra 2 games for the playoff position when it comes to the Champions League. But now, by the time Spurs they resume action in Europe, it could be that Thomas Frank would have gone. That is, if they lose this one, because they are in a lowly 14th or so. That is not a position that Spurs should be at this stage of the campaign. When
at any stage,
February is almost at. In fact, February is here.
You were there
if you are not just in the top 10 and you're even closer to the relegation spot than even a spot for the Conference League, that is to tell you how atrocious Tottenham have been. However, they could still decide to, like, okay, let us seize the moment, take full advantage of the results in midweek that saw their place in the Champions League confirmed, and just, okay, let's have City because let us take them through a spanner in the wheels when it comes to their title conversation and just face them head on. They can do it. City has been found culpable, vulnerable at different occasions this season. But the thing is, if City stutters once more, I don't think Arsenal will let off. Especially if they do get a result against Leeds. If Arsenal they get a result, that is by when I say a result, a win.
A win, yeah.
So it's a tough fixture to call, but I still want to stick my neck out for Manchester City. Probably the Antoine Semenyo's purple patch gold dust will still be in the air, and it will still help them get a goal or two. And probably Dokudinho. Doku may get one or two. Of all those one or two of the wall assists, probably. But let's just leave it for Pep Guardiola and his Manchester City side.
BJ, do you agree with him? Win for City?
Yes, I want to agree. I will agree with him because, again, City has always struggled or have struggled this season against a very decent side that play good football. But Tottenham is not that side that play good football. So City should get the result.
Well, BJ agrees with Pedro. Tottenham are really struggling, especially on the continent. They are the opposite of Villarreal. Play well on the continent, struggling in the league.
Yeah.
Villarreal play well in the league, struggling on the continent. But CAF, they've sent sanctions to both Senegal, sent sanctions to Morocco as well. And tennis, we had the big three at some point. You would think Murray was useless until you know that despite the big three guys, they won a few Grand Slam for himself, pick up Olympic gold medal. Now, are we seeing the same thing with the young Carlos Alcaraz and Yannick Sinner? Those two will be the focus of our conversation in Northeast. Welcome back from that break. We've hit home stretch and it's time for Hot Gist on Premium Sports on PBO TV. And maybe we may not dwell too much on this one, but let me just run through what we have. At the Convention of African Football, they've sent different sanctions to Senegal and Morocco after the drama, the saga, everything that happened in the final of the Africa Cup of Nations. For Senegal, they were fined $300,000 US dollars for their supporters' improper conduct, $300,000 for player and staff on sportsman behavior, plus bringing the game to disrepute. Now I know where MPFA found that grammar from. Bringing the game to disrepute. $15,000 for misconduct from the 5 yellow cards received in the final. In total of $615,000. Then suspensions. The coach, Papi Thiaw, is suspended for 5 official CAF matches and fined $100,000 for bringing the game to disrepute. I hope it got up to $100,000. Because maybe you know come back with negative account balance. Then players and Diaye and Ismail Sarr are suspended for 2 official CAF games for sporting behavior towards the referee. And for Morocco, they were fined $200,000 for stadium ball boys inappropriate behavior. They should have been fined to pay towel as well. $100,000 for improper conduct of players and staff invading the restricted area. Then $15,000 for fans' uses of laser. Total of $315,000. For suspensions, there's suspension for Captain Ashraf Hakimi, who was given 2 official CAF match suspension for sportsman behavior, which one of them is a suspended suspension for 1 year. Then Ismail Saibari was suspended for 3 official CAF game and a sporting behavior and fine of $100,000. That was the most embarrassing one ever, blocking and everything. Pedro, do you agree with the sanctions? Do you think one was too much, this one was too much, or you think some were too small?
Now, if this were to be a case of racism, we see the
5,000.
we'll see the punishment, or in quotes, being handed down. You see 5,000.
Yes, but this is a punishment.
Yes, slap on the wrist, maybe €30, 35, 50,000, depending on the severity of the case. But this one, we know it's just a spur of the moment thing and all that. I think there wasn't any form of violence in quotes. Maybe a few scuffles, or probably let me not limit it to scuffles. Maybe 1 or 2 altercations between the fans. But at least when it comes to the playing personnel, both countries player, at least they didn't go physical.
Yeah, hit each other out
on themselves. They did not resort to fisticuffs. So, however, speaking of a CAF and the so-called sanctions, this is okay. We get the picture that you want to send out a message but this is not how a message is being passed. CAF just I don't know this current administration under Patrice Motsepe, I don't know, probably is like we'll do what we want to do and can't do anything about it. That's just how it just came. That is how it came into I don't know, just okay, we've cancelled the Championship of African Nations, one culture. Normally those things they go to the executive council, the committee, they do all those things, but I don't know. Probably they met and they say, okay, this is what will come out. I know this, of course, CAF investigated the fallout from the final, but when it comes to the sanctions, they're way too much. I agree with that of the matches for both players, the coaches, and all that. But
the money part is
the
huge.
monetary aspect, the financial aspect, that is where I have issues with. Yes, okay, you're finding the coach 100,000. It is not the case that he hit a match official, not did he? He did not. So why go that far? Right? It's more or less like giving him not 100,000 and this is not like okay, and it is an international competition, but of course it still pales in comparison when it comes to revenues like the Euros, the American Gold Cup, the one the CONCACAF. It is even more weightier when it comes to the revenues than the AFCON. Of course, we are glad that AFCON now it is rubbing shoulders now with other top competition when it comes to the revenues amassed. But come on, 100,000 is just way out of it. That is why I like if the French administered bodies, they will just they resort to francs and just probably give you like 10,000. When you convert it to dollars, that will give you about say 7,005 thereabout. So but 100,000 for what? Are you trying to? What competition are you want to use that money for? Okay, you can so that 100,000 could have been for the entire federation. I wouldn't bat an eyelid, but for a single individual, you know how it is for African coaches to get elite positions. Elite positions. Foreigners come, they get a lot of foreigners. They come, they get the best packages. They lead most of these countries. Now okay. If it was a foreign person in charge, would they have dropped 100,000 fine on him? No, now we wouldn't do that. So that is so uncalled for. I already said on another platform that everybody will be fine. All right, CAF themselves, Morocco and Senegal.
Fine or not, they don't win the Africa Cup. They
Of course, then that appeal that Morocco said that probably they should play, whatever, they should strip them.
You don't replay football.
Of course,
match.
now that we all knew that one was dead and buried from the moment.
Do you agree with Pedro with the sanctions, suspension good, finance not too good?
Yeah, I don't have issues with all of those money. I mean, Senegal, the coach has
just deducted from the
money.
source.
What I know is that they won the African Cup of Nations. And they've not taken
you don't wanna.
They've not taken because there are rumors that they're not going to play the World Cup and all of that. They're going to suspend them from the World Cup. If that did not happen and did not take the title of them, whatever thing they want to do is
that's a cup of Akamo.
I mean, speaking of maybe if they want to take like you mentioned something taken from source, the winners for the AFCON gets 10 million. So if you want to take it from there,
shake us.
Take it from there now.
Exactly.
You can
even
the country. Tax. I think the country should still get 5 million.
The country is still going to reward them. For the
work
done.
So that's what we do now.
Exactly. I think that
I don't have issues with all of
it. So if they are hurt that okay, thankfully they won the competition. They didn't finish second or third. It's why Eagles will go and collect 2.5. So they got 10 million. So if you take it from source, you move tax when it comes okay. That of the Moroccan government, and of course that of the Senegalese government, you will still see 5 million that they will play with. So deduct from source.
So now let's talk about the sport I know both of you like, tennis. These are just straight answer, no stress. Will or are Carlos Alcaraz and Yannick Sinner the next best thing in tennis? Are they going to have that domination the big three had?
Yeah, of course. Of course, currently they are the face of the sport. When of course, prior to the big three, like the fading away of the big three,
it used to be two before.
There will be a couple of players that will just rear their head and like this may be the next person. But of course, they will not be able to live up to the hype. They'll just go back to default setting. We've had several cases, the likes of Daniel Medvedev, Stefanos Tsitsipas,
Dominic Thiem.
Dominic Thiem, who has now retired. A lot. at some point, maybe Matteo Berrettini, Alexander Zverev, I mentioned.
One of my favorites there was Stan Wawrinka.
Yes, Wawrinka tried. He did good for himself. Won 3 Grand Slam titles for himself. So, but the thing is that they've not had this consistency to stay long. Of course, no thanks to the ever consistent presence of Djokovic and Nadal and Federer. Federer was the first to fade off. Then Nadal followed. Then Djokovic stayed for a bit. But now he's in the twilight of his career. Now he can no longer. Of course, it is clear now. The last year, and of course the current Australian Open has shown that he is not the main guy, the top guy anymore. The top guy still remain Sinner and Alcaraz. When Alcaraz first came onto the scene, people had already said, "Oh, he would dominate. I felt he would be like one of the previous guys we've met. We've seen your Tsitsipas and the likes, who will come in, they will not do a lot, and they will fizzle out. But he has tried to stay in the public eye, dominated the sport. He's won like about 6 slams thereabout, which is really, really good. Current world number 1. Now, in comes Yannick Sinner. Yannick Sinner has shown that if there is an antidote or a kryptonite to the form of Carlos Alcaraz, he is that kryptonite. He is that, I don't know.
I like the rivalry they're building.
Yes, both of them. And it has shown that both of them can take on each other at any given time, any surface, any day. And when both
they play straight sets,
and when
it's tiebreaker you're talking about.
Yes, you can never see somebody beating the other person so seamlessly or so easily.
6-3, 6-2.
No, never. They themselves, you know that, okay, Sinner versus Alcaraz, you do not know who would win. Alcaraz can take the day. Sinner can actually thump his opponent on the other hand. So it is just they've come to like, okay, both of them are the best thing, the best names. Thankfully, they stay injury free and they continue to remain healthy. Trust me, the sport will be better off, in the long run. Of course, they were mass fans. For persons who thought, oh, we'll miss Federer, we'll miss Nadal, we'll miss Djokovic. Come on, we've moved over great names, even great, Pete Sampras, Andre Agassi, name it, Marat Safin. We've done the sport has, continued to thrive. So trust me, these particular players, these young men, they will be ambassadors for the sport in the long run. Trust me, the sport is in good hands. So, but every other person, they can continue to play catch up or like, okay, as a B list or C listers, But when it comes to the elite, the A listers, we are talking of Carlos Alcaraz and Yannick Sinner.
BJ, are you on the same page with him? Other guys are good, but it's just Alcaraz, Sinner versus the rest.
Yeah, I mean it's a matter of consistency for these two. They've been very consistent the last 3 years. Last year they both won all Grand Slams. It tells you that they are here to stay. They are the force to reckon with, and they've actually chopped and changed world number 1 and 2 in the last 2 years. It tells you that it is Alcaraz and Yannick Sinner and the rest. I mean, Zverev has actually done an incredible job of being consistent as well, winning world number 3. But apart from those 3,
Zverev is a joker.
No, you can't say he's a joker. You can't say he's a joker. Okay, now. Joker, it might not be at the level of Sinner
he's not on that
Alcaraz.
level. Now, Sinner had a bit of a mini ban last year because of the let me not call it doping, probably the drugs.
Yes,
for lack of better word, probably the most appropriate word.
Yes.
Now, Alcaraz too had a bit of a lull, not really in form. He had a bit of an injury, was sidelined. Trust me, Zverev was at least on tour. Had the chance to win a couple of Masters 1000 titles, which would have seen him overtake going up to number 1 for the first time in his career. Trust me, he was always bottling those chances.
It's not his fault now. You can't
number 2 for a long time until he now dropped.
The mistake you are making is you should have looked at his racket or his jersey under. There will be something else now under.
You can't even blame him because again, Alcaraz since the beginning of April last year have dominated almost all circuits.
Immediately you see that guy, if you watch Alcaraz play,
the only 2 titles he didn't win was the final 6 that they played the last tournament of last year, the one they played in Saudi Arabia,
the ATP Tour Finals was in
was in Italy. Sorry, it was in Italy. and the second to the last Grand Slams, which was Wimbledon, that he also didn't win, that Sinner won. So I think it's because of these two sides. I mean, these two guys, they are very strong. They're a force. I mean, they're gonna be here for years to come. And I'm really proud that Alcaraz has actually done an incredible job, because he's my favorite player.
He fell out for some point.
He's my
yeah.
I mean, Alcaraz will be here for years to come, alongside Sinner. But Sinner needs to learn more if he wants to be world number one. I mean, if you look at
Sinner.
yes,
Sinner has been world number one. Come on now.
when I'm
Sinner
saying
has been world number one. So
is he the world number one now?
He isn't.
That's what I'm saying. It's because
he wins the Australian Open. He takes world number one.
it's because Carlos Alcaraz has been very, very consistent. Why I'm saying that if you want to beat Alcaraz these days, you need to improve your skill. Because if you look at Alcaraz have the flair of Alcaraz have the
Sinner is all bags of skills.
Where's the all bag? He's only got a good stroke forehand. That's the only thing he has. A good stroke forehand. If you talk about Alcaraz has spins. He has a drop shot. I mean, he has everything combined. Look at the way he defeated Dimino in the last game. I mean,
do you want
fantastic double one backhand. I mean, I'm talking about his skill set. If you watch, I watched Sinner against what's his name, against Ben Shelton. I mean, it was just more of the forehand, so straightforward.
You know that you have more than you just make light work of it. Now, do you want to show yourself?
Well, you can't give what you don't have, like they say. So I'm not surprised that.
I think I know. Who is your favorite in this generation?
Well, I wouldn't say I have a favorite, but I am anti-Alcaraz. I'm anti-Alcaraz.
Who is your favorite?
Alcaraz, Carlos Alcaraz.
He loves Alcaraz. I do not. I am not his fan.
Who wins the Aussie Open?
Of course, he completes the Grand Slam. Carlos Alcaraz.
Who wins the Aussie Open?
Sinner, of course. He defends his title.
We'll know if it's a Sinner or an Alcaraz. I would love to see both of them in the final. Though both of them, their final is always feisty, and that's what competition. We don't want to. Even if you see straight sets, let it be interesting. Not 6-1 inside final. How? But we'll get to find out by Sunday. That's when the final of the Aussie Open will go down. But as much as we're having fun, time is gone, so we have to leave. But before we go, we just see red lights, traffic lights last weekend. This is what Pedro has for us for this week. And here is what Boluwadi Degede has got for us this weekend as well. So at the end of the week, we hope your tickets turn green. But always make sure you punt with what you can afford to part with. Don't go borrow landlord money, go use. I don't have space in my house for you. But it's been an exciting show, guys. Thank you very much for turning up. It's still Premium Sports. My name is Boluwatito Shalom. Please keep watching PBO TV. This is where we come to you every week. It's been an exciting week of sports. For Champions League, started lots of goals. MPFL midweek games. Rivers United didn't play any match in the midweek in Champions League, and they still remain top of the table with 3 points. That's the beauty. That's the excitement the MPFL brings for you. We have to go right now. Thank you very much for following. Until we come here another time, please make sure you do have a beautiful sporting weekend.
Premium Box Office TV. Everyone loves premium. Premium Box Office TV is exclusive on StarTimes.